This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Remember when Congressman Andrew Clyde said that it was just a regular old tourist event, the insurrection? When Michelle Bachmann said that it was just like a happy family reunion? And the countless times that Tucker Carlson has said that it was just a trespassing event. That was the worst of it. And so many conservatives have rattled the talking points of, well, this was an insurrection. Why has nobody been charged with insurrection or sedition? Well, one of the problems with me having been gone for 2 weeks while I was moving is the fact that so much happened while I was gone and didn't get to talk about it. Part of that was that 20 members of the Oath Keepers were charged in a broader conspiracy surrounding seditious conspiracy. 11 were charged with that very charge. And now we're learning in the course of this investigation some of the evidence that they have that back up that claim, that back up that charge of seditious conspiracy. A charge of sedition against the government of the United States. I have been railing on for over a year now about the insurrection, about the attempted overthrow of the United States government, the attempted overturning of a free and fair American election. A lot of people have pushed back, mostly trolls, mostly Republicans, mostly conservatives. But my concern is now bearing fruit. My concern is now proving to be accurate. I'm going to read a little bit from this Politico article that should very much alarm you. The headline: Firearms, a drone, and 30 days of supplies. New details of Oath Keepers' January 6 weapons cache. Prosecutors provided new details about the weapons stockpile Oath Keepers had assembled at a Comfort Inn in nearby Arlington, Virginia. This was not a tourist event. This was not a happy family reunion or merely a trespassing charge. This was a long-planned, sinister, organized effort to overturn the United States government that in a few paragraphs you will learn exactly how deep it went. Oath Keepers planning to violently subvert the 2020 election stockpiled 30 days of supplies and a cache of rifles and ammunition just outside of Washington, D.C., prosecutors alleged in a late-night court filing. In a memo seeking the pretrial detention of Oath Keeper Ed Vallejo, one of the 11 members of the group charged last week with seditious conspiracy to violently prevent Joe Biden from taking office, prosecutors provided new details about the weapons stockpile Oath Keepers had assembled at a Comfort Inn in nearby Arlington, Virginia. 3 quick reaction force teams. Now, this is something about the Oath Keepers that really just flies in the face. This is me doing a flag flying in the face. That really flies in the face of this entire conspiracy theory to discount the seriousness of what took place on January 6th. That a quick reaction force is, one, a military organization, but it really points to what the Oath Keepers is. The Oath Keepers is a loose outfit of prior military and police who understand tactics, who understand military operation, and they implement that in their malicious style, seditious, separatist movement, their organization. 3 quick reaction force teams set up at a hotel prepared to ferry weapons into Washington to support the effort to prevent Congress from finalizing Biden's victory. This isn't just a hunch, by the way. The fact that they have the location, they have the messages, they have an understanding in indictments. This has been brought before a grand jury. You don't get to indict people without having a set of citizens, 23 citizens, sit and hear the evidence and vote, just like a jury, to indict. There is something here It's not a hunch. But the cash became unnecessary, prosecutors said, because the Oath Keepers at the Capitol, using the force of the pro-Trump mob that stormed the building, were able to get inside without additional support. It gives you an insight into what the plan was, that they were hoping, or at least planning, to have those weapons in case they couldn't get inside the building. But because they got inside through broken windows and a security setup that was inept, to say the least, they didn't need the 30 days cache of weapons. But prosecutors say the Oath Keepers were prepared for a long-haul fight, one that stretched past January 6th to the inauguration. Messages, here's the evidence, messages exchanged by Vallejo and others suggested the group cased the Capitol on January 6th and discussed plans to continue working against the transfer of power up through Biden's inauguration. This was a long-term, well-planned operation, not a happy family reunion, Michelle Bachmann. Not a tourist event, Andrew Clyde. You goddamn clown. But the most salient details in the new memo describing the planning and stockpiling of weapons at the Comfort Inn, among them, prosecutors say, were at least 3 luggage carts worth of gun boxes, rifle cases, and suitcases filled with ammunition. Let's approach this given a little fairness and charity to why they might need this. In January, in Washington, D.C., in the adjacent city south of Washington, Arlington, why would they need suitcases of ammunition, rifle boxes, multiple weapons? What need would there be for that? Was there a shooting tournament that they were going to attend after the insurrection? Come on, I think not. A second QRF, or Quick Reaction Force team from North Carolina, consisted of 4 men who kept their rifles ready to go in a vehicle parked in a hotel lot, according to the Justice Department. Later, Vallejo and other members of the Arizona QRF, Quick Reaction Force team, wheeled in bags and large bins of weapons, ammunition, and essential supplies to last 30 days. Prosecutors say, by the way, I would venture a guess, I don't know this, I don't have any inside information other than what is being reported, but I would venture to say that there is very likely video evidence of this particular hauling in and out of supplies. In the wake of the insurrection, the FBI and the Justice Department went into investigative mode, probably blanketing the DMV here, the D.C., Maryland, Virginia metro area and hotels, finding out who stayed where and what they did while they were there, and trying to backtrack into their activities. Again, this is not a hunch. This is hard investigative evidence that has been found through shoe leather work. Prosecutors say that as some of the Oath Keepers breached the Capitol, Vallejo attempted but failed to launch a drone with a 720p, which is considered high definition, but it's the lowest level to still be considered high definition drone camera, for recon use, for reconnaissance use. Capitol Police officials have, in recent days, described efforts to protect the Capitol against unauthorized drones. Prosecutors say Vallejo is too dangerous to be released pending trial, noting that he continued to profess support for the violent attack on the Capitol even last month, just days before his arrest. That Vallejo's co-conspirators did not activate him on January 6 does not mitigate his dangerousness, they argue. Vallejo traveled across the country and staged himself near the congressional proceedings, ready to transport firearms and equipment into the nation's capital. This is what makes him a danger. And there is no evidence that he has renounced violence or that he no longer believes in the necessity of guerrilla warfare after January 6th. And Vallejo is slated to face a magistrate judge Thursday afternoon to determine whether he will be released pending trial. And I hope that magistrate judge does the right thing here and holds him pre-trial. Look, You know it, and I know it, and we've been talking about it for over a year now. The events of January 6th were not a happy family reunion. The events of January 6th were an insurrection, an attempted overthrow of the United States government. Their guy, it wasn't just a protest. Their guy, Donald Trump, lost, and they decided to keep him in office despite the results of the election. It is anti-democratic. It was a violent, attempted overthrow of America, like some banana republic. This is what you hear about in impoverished nations, not the most powerful, longest standing democracy on the planet. And we're still in danger. Our democracy still hangs in the balance because Donald Trump and his supporters, his glossy-eyed goons, still are at the ready to try it again. I'd love to know what you think. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me, daily@dollemore.com. I appreciate all your communications. It's nice being back and having some things in my inbox to read and listen to. Now that I do have, again, temporary permanent studio, I'm going to be back at doing voicemail videos, so I encourage your participation. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore just about everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, again, at Dollemore. And if you appreciate what I do, if I bring you some value, whether that be a smile or the fear of God, you can support my work, help produce my work right here on the platform for as little as $1.99 a month. You can click the join button below this video, become a channel member, or you can steer your browser. This is me typing on the keyboard. Steer your browser over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. Both those are fantastic ways to help support and produce and take part in what I'm doing here. I love you guys. I will see you next time. Until I do, keep your head on a swivel. Be genuine. Take care of one another.